Okay, in this screencast, what we're going to do is learn how to make it another object, make clones of itself so that if we touch that object, it will slow us down, or you could make it so that it will speed you up. So in the example here, you can see that I have some bananas that are generating randomly, and when I touch them, I can't move for about 2 seconds, and I change colors. And so this is a lot like in Mario Kart, where you hit an object like a banana peel and it slows you down or spins you out of control. So to get started, I'm going to come over here to a project that doesn't have the extension built into it. I'm going to show you how to do it both with the slow on the grass and fast on the track extension, and even if you don't add that extension to your project. So the first thing you want to do is add the object that you're going to make fall. So I'm going to use bananas, and as you can see, it's too big. So let's go ahead and shrink that using the shrink tool. Great. Okay, so to get started, make sure we have the banana selected because that's where we're going to add our first bit of code to. And I'm going to have this sprite make clones of itself that appear randomly on the screen. So to do that, we're going to say when the green flag is clicked, and we're going to go to the control menu, and we're going to have it create a clone of itself. And we want it to keep making a lot of clones for the rest of the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually use a forever loop so that it will continue to create a clone of itself whenever the green flag is clicked. Now the way that we can get it to make, let's click the green flag and see what happens. As you can see, I have lots of bananas here, but it's not quite what we want. We want the clones to go to a different location, and we want it to happen a little bit more randomly. So to do that, we're going to use the wait block and also the go to block. So first, we'll have it create clones every random amount of time. So we're going to have it wait a random amount of time before it makes the next clone. And we're going to say pick random from 1 to 4. Create a clone of myself. And now we're going to say that once that clone is created, we want it to go to a random spot in the screen. So we'll go to the motion menu now that we have when I start as a clone dragged out, and we're going to look for a go to block, so go to XY. And instead of going to the same location, we want it to pick a random spot on the screen. So to do that, we use another pick random block. We're actually going to use 2 of these, one for the X and one for the Y. So the screen goes from negative 240 to positive 240 in the X direction. So I wanted to choose from negative 200 to positive 200. So it doesn't go all the way to the edges. And then the Y, it goes from negative 180 to positive 180. So I'm going to say from negative 160 to positive 160. Let's see what this looks like. We see that we have some clones that are generating in random locations. This is great. Now, we still have the original clone that is showing, so what we should probably do is make this one hide when the green flag is clicked and only show when it starts as a clone. So we have 1 clone, 2 clones, great. This looks great. So the next thing that we're going to do is actually change the player's speed when it encounters one of these bananas. So we're going to need to use an if-then conditional to see if we're touching a banana. So if we're touching the banana, then we're going to stop moving for 2 seconds and then start moving again. So in the sensing menu, we can find the touching a sprite block. We're going to say if touching bananas, then set speed. So change this to speed to 0. We'll need a second one. We're going to make it do this for 2 seconds. And then after 2 seconds, we'll set the speed back to 7. And we're going to need to make sure that this conditional is always being checked. So that means we need to add a forever loop around it, and we can connect this to when the green flag is clicked. And let's try this out. Great, so it did stop, but now I'm still touching the banana and I'm not moving. So what we need to do is tell this clone to actually delete itself if it happens to touch player 1 or 2. That way we're not just stuck in this loop. So we're going to use another if-then conditional. And this time we want to see if we're touching player 1 or player 2. So we're actually going to need the OR operator. So if touching player 1 or touching player 2, then we want to delete ourselves. Put this inside the conditional. And now we're going to look for a block that says delete this clone. And we need to check this conditional forever. So let's try this out again. So my speed's 0, and then it goes back to 7. Great. Perfect. This is working. So now what we need to do is we need to do the same script for player 2. So if it's touching the bananas, then set speed to 0 or 7 and wait 2 seconds. The other thing that we can do is also if you are using the fast on the pavement and slower on the grass, then what you'll do is you're actually going to put all of those if-then conditionals. So if touching color green, then set speed to 2. If touching color of the cement, set speed to 7. You're going to put that below the if-then conditional for the bananas, so that your script will look something like this. And now, if this is the case, we should see it working correctly. And there's lots of other extensions you could do, like in this example, lots of bananas. You can see that we added a change color effect by block in between the changing of the speeds, so that it kind of makes it look like it lights up different colors. So those are some options that you can do. But you can customize this however you want.